Chapter 1: Total Quality Management Evolution. Quality starts with understanding the needs of the customers. This all started the foundation of TQM. The foundation of quality control is as old as business industry itself. The concept was introduced during the Industrial Revolution. Historical background. It was 1924 when W. A. Shewart of Bell Telephone Laboratories developed a statistical chart for control of product variables. This chart is considered to be the beginning of statistical quality control. In the same decade, H. F. Dodge and H. G. Romig, both of telephone laboratories, developed the area of acceptance sampling as a substitute for 100% inspection. In 1980s to the 1990s, a new phase of quality control and management began. This became known as total quality management. Having observed Japan's success of employing quality issues, Western companies started to introduce their own quality initiatives. TQM developed a catch-call phrase for the broad spectrum of quality focus strategies, program, and techniques during this period became the center of focus for the Western quality movement.
Definition of TQM. Total quality management is an advancement over the conventional means of conducting business. It is a tried and true method for ensuring survival in the face of elite competition. The culture and behavior of a whole organization can only be changed by changing management's behavior. According to D.H. Westerfield, most of TQM is common sense. TQM is primarily focused on constant work improvement. Long-term planning is involved. It is a never-ending process. The goal of total quality management is to construct and make permanent a climate where employees continuously enhance their ability to supply on-demand products and services that customers will find of exceptional value. Analyzing the three words of total quality management. Total is made up of the whole. Quality, degree of excellence a product or service provides. Management, it is a process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. An act or manner of handling, controlling, and directing. 6 basic concepts of TQM. First, a committed and involved management to provide long-term top-to-bottom organizational support. Second, an unwavering focus on the customer, both internally and externally. Third, effective involvement and utilization of the entire workforce. Fourth, continuous improvement of the business and production process. Fifth, treating suppliers as partners. And lastly, establish performance measures for the processes.
Transformation to TQM. A firm undergo a transformation process in order to change its traditional management approach to TQM. This transformation process must be initiated by top management and must be strategic in scope. It refers to its initiation of quality improvement changes as strategic total quality management. A business organization cannot start the transformation to TQM until it is aware that the quality of the product or service must be improved. Meaning of quality. Quality could be defined as a basic tool for a natural property of any good or service that allows it to be compared with any other good or service of its kind. The word quality has many meanings, but basically it refers to the set of inherent properties of an object that allows satisfying state or implied needs. Example, furniture. The quality of a good service is the perception that customer has about it. It is a consumer mindset who accepts a specific good or service and acknowledges its ability to meet his or her needs.
Often, organizations focus on improving and delivering quality in one key area of their business. However, according to Dr. William Edwards Deming, quality should be built in at very level of the business, from suppliers and production facilities to customer service and frontline staff. In order to achieve success, to achieve this, Deming created a 14-point strategy, also known as Deming's 14-point philosophy, that organizations can use to improve quality across their business. It includes the following. 1. Creates a constant purpose towards improvement. 2. Adopt the new philosophy. 3. Stop depending on expectations. 4. Use a single supplier for any one item. 5. Improve constantly and forever. 6. Use training on the job. 7. Implement leadership. Number 8. Eliminate fear. 9. Break down barriers between departments. 10. Get rid of unclear slogans. 11. Eliminate management by objectives. 12. Remove barriers to pride of workmanship. 13. Implement education and self-improvement. And lastly, 14. Make transformation everyone's job. Taken as a whole, the 14 points are a guide to the importance of building customers' awareness, reducing variations, and fostering constant continuous change and improvement throughout organizations. The impediments of total quality management is number 1, lack of management commitment. Number 2, inability to change organizational culture. 3, improper planning. Number 4, lack of continuous training and education. Number 5, incompatible organizational structure and isolated individuals and departments. 6, ineffective measurement techniques and lack of access to data and result. Number 7, paying inadequate attention to internal and external customers. Number 8, inadequate use of empowerment and teamwork. And lastly, failure to continuous improvement.
Quality cost. Quality costs are the costs associated with preventing, identifying, and correcting flaws with a product's quality are referred to as quality costs. It goes beyond merely raising a product's perceived value to a greater value. Instead, quality is developing and delivering a product that lives up to a customer's expectations. The phrase cost of quality or COQ also refers to a system that enables an organization to assess how much of its resources are allocated to operations that avoid subpar quality, evaluate the quality of the firm's goods and services, and are caused by both internal and external failure. The cost of quality and its objectives is, in order for quality to have the desired long-term impact on the business, the expenses of performing a quality task, carrying out quality enhancements, and accomplishing targets must be carefully managed. It is better to determine these costs from an analysis of the cost of equality since they must be a reflection of the quality effort. The success of quality management can be evaluated using such an analysis, which also identifies chances for cost reductions and issues areas.
Classification of failure cost. It is start here that internal failure costs are made to make up for the damage on the product that cannot be fixed or cannot reach the expectation of the customer. They could include the waste, scrap, rework, or classification and failure analysis. Why is that this important? Internal failure cost is one of the cost of ensure product quality and is associated with defects that are found at the manufacturer's site before the product. Research that the customer example are failure analysis, product scrap, and throughput lost. These are costs that exist when customer discovered a defect in the product they received. It will only be called external failure cost if the defect is discovered after the product and not before it was delivered.
Reducing the cost of quality failure prevention. Prevention costs are incurred to prevent or avoid quality problems. These costs are related to the planning, execution, and upkeep of the quality management system. The secret to lower quality costs is prevention. Customer-facing operation like a contact center for customer service and website must be planned to avoid mistake and reduce the risk of failure. Failure in this context refers to both the issue that led to the customer first request for support as well as the time spent by the customer in doing so. Support system must be created so that customer can easily access them and receive reliable information to fix problem fast. Analysis of the customer support process waste and process capacity should be done, usually by keeping an eye on how long it takes for an initial response and how long it takes overall.
Afternoon, this is Group 2 reporting Chapter 3, Leadership Effectiveness, and Chapter 4, Total Quality Management Implementation. So the first reporter will be Ms. Erica Bonifacio.
Leadership needs a strong understanding of the nature of human being, the basic needs, wants, interests, and abilities. Leadership is about inspiring people to do things they never thought they could. Its purpose is about your values and what in life is most important. Pakiramdam focuses on a passive style of leadership, with the subordinates doing work that is not too little or too much to play safe. Takutan is a style of leadership that puts the responsibility on the manager who relies on oppression, conceit, and hostility. Kulit, which refers to a superior closely observes and controls the work of their subordinates by checking every detail of the assignment. Pachamba-chamba is a style of management that has no goals, objectives, and direct instructions.
This topic is about characteristics of effective leaders. First, they give priority attention to internal and external customers and their needs. As leaders, they place themselves in customers' shoes and continually evaluate the customer's changing requirements. Second, they empower rather than control. Subordinates. Leaders have trust and confidence in the performance of their subordinates. Number 3, they emphasize the improvement rather than maintenance. There is always room for improvement. Next, they emphasize prevention. They encourage collaboration rather than competition. There must be collaboration among and within units. They train and coach. They learn from problems when a problem exists, and it is treated as opportunity rather than something to be minimized or covered up. They continually try to improve communication. Next, they continually demonstrate their commitment to quality because leaders walk their talk and their actions rather than their words. Next, they choose suppliers on the basis of quality, not price. They establish organizational systems to support the quality effort. They encourage and recognize team effort. Next, strategic planning. So here we have John Francisco Jr. and Gory Maki. Goals and objective has the same meaning. The only similarities between the two are differentiated by using goals for long-term and objective for short-term planning. 7 steps to strategic planning. Next, 7 steps to strategic planning. 1. Customers' needs. The first step is discover the future need of the customers. Second, customers' positioning. The planners determine where the organization wants to be in relation to the customers. Number 3, predict the future. The planners must take into their crystal balls to predict future conditions that will affect their product or service. Number 4, gap analysis. It requires the planners to identify the gaps between the current state and the future state of the organization. Closing the gap. The plan can now be developed to close the gap by establishing goals and responsibilities. Alignment. As the plan is developed, it must be aligned with the mission, vision, and core values of the organization. Next, implementation. This last step is frequently the most difficult. Resource must be allocated to the collecting data, designing changes, and overcoming resistance to change.
Total Quality Management Implementation. Introduction. One of the best technical tools for improving product and service quality is statistical process control, SPC. There are 7 techniques. The word statistical is somewhat of a misnomer since the first 4 techniques are not really statistical. Furthermore, this statistical tool not only controls the process but has the capability to improve it as well. A Pareto principle named after esteemed economist Wilfredo Pareto specified that 80% of consequences came from 20% of process, asserting an equal relationship between inputs and outputs.
Example of the Pareto principle, financial advisory business commonly use the Pareto principle to help manage their clients. So, according to Wilfredo Federico Pareto, based in management theory, there is an important principle known as 80 to 20 rule or the Pareto principle. The principle states that for many events, roughly 80% of the effects come from 20% of the costs. The example of the Pareto principle would be, first, 80% of your sales come from 20% of your clients, and 80% of your profits come from 20% of your products or services. Then 80% of decisions in a meeting are made in 20% of the time. So the Pareto principle in time management states that 80% of results will come from 20% of your effort, and it can help us to focus on activities that will have the biggest impact in our business and personal lives. So the next topic is process flow diagram. The flow diagram shows the flow of the product or service as it moves through the various processing operations. So it is a type of flowchart that illustrates the relationships between major components at an industrial plant. And it is most often used in chemical engineering and process engineering through the concepts are sometimes applied to other process as well. It's used to document a process, improve a process, or model a new one. There are 8 steps in process flow diagram. So these are the purchase, receipt storage, preparation, mixing, cooking, cooling, packaging, and dispatch. But in another diagram, it shows 2 new options added. It is from step 6, which is cooling. The process could proceed to waste instead of step 7, packaging. Lastly, from step 7, packaging, the process could move to a new rework step and then go back to step 2, receipt storage, instead of moving on to step 8, dispatch. So that's all. Thank you.
Cause and effect diagram. A cause and effect diagram is a picture composed of lines and symbols designed to represent a meaningful relationship between an effect and its causes. This diagram used to investigate either a bad effect and to take action to correct the causes, or a good effect and to learn those causes that are responsible. From the word itself, cause and effect, it is a diagram that states the root of the problem and its results. However, in terms of these statements, it has also benefits that can help us on making a diagram. It helps us to identify and show the possible causes of the problem. It also shows that the relationship between the outcome of the things that affects or influence.
So the next topic is one of the strongest assets is the participations and contribution of everyone involved in brainstorming process. The diagram are useful to, number 1, analyze actual conditions for the purpose of product or service quality to improve or more efficient use of resources and reduce cost. So analyze means that analyzing what is the problem and also to study or examine something in detail in order to discover or understand more about it. Okay? So number 2, eliminate condition causing non-conformities and customers complain. So it means that eliminating unbeneficial data or unimportant information. Okay? So number 3, standardize and existing and proposed operations. So you're setting up a standard or categorizing the data. Okay. So number 4, educate and train personnel in decision making and corrective action activities. So it can be used to educate or train personnel in decision making and effective action activities. Explanation. Cause and effect diagram can be used to educate, train a personnel in decision making and effective action activities. It analyzes all the possible causes of the existing problems. Okay, so let's proceed to another topic, which is checklist and check sheets. The main purpose of check sheets is to ensure that the data are collected carefully and accurately by operating personnel. Okay, so the check sheet or the checklist is a formal used to collect data in real time at the location where the data is generated. The data is it can be captures quantitative or qualitative. When the information is quantitative, the check sheet is sometimes called a tally sheet.
So for the next topic, PDSA cycle. PDSA stands for Plan, do, study, or act is an iterative four-step problem-solving process typically used in business process improvement. So PDSA is a four-step of solving a problem in a better way, or it is an action for improvement typically used in business. Next naman, Kaizen mindset. Kaizen mindset stands for PDCA, or Plan, Do, Check, and Act. Was made popular by Dr. W. Edwards Deming. Later, Deming modified it to PDCA to PDSA, or Plan, Do, Study, and Act, so as to better describe the nature of continuous improvement. Because for Dr. W. Edwards, PDSA is much better because of its improvement or never-ending improvement. Is factors that leads to ineffective TQM implementation. Number 1, lack of management commitment. 2, weak comprehension of quality management. 3, inability to change organizational cultures. 4, lack of accuracy in quality planning. 5th, absence of continuous training and education. And lastly, insufficient resources. So these factors may seem insignificant, but it has great factors on implementing a proper arrangement to people, because little aspect will change into something bigger or may impact the whole business itself. So watch out for these factors.
Chapter 5, ISO Certification. Introduction. Even before the arrival of the Spaniards in the Philippines, our forefathers were already doing business with Chinese and Indian traders. And even then, we proved that the survival of communities has depended on trade. Trade continues to this day on the strength of the customer-supplier relationship. The relationship survives through trust and confidence. Broken promises, whatever the cause, harm, reputation, and promises are broken when an organization does not do what it committed itself to do. ISO 9000 is a set of criteria that, when applied correctly, will help organizations develop the capability to create and retain satisfied customers. ISO 9000 provides a tried and tested framework for taking a systematic approach to managing the organization's processes so that they can consistently turn out products that satisfies customers' expectations.
Some of the requirements in ISO 9001, which one of the standards in the ISO 900 family include a set of procedures that cover all key processes in the business, monitoring processes to ensure they are effective, keep adequate records, checking output per defect with appropriate and corrective action where necessary, regularly reviewing individual process and the quality system itself for effectiveness, facilitation, continual improvement.
The concept of quality management. A quality management system in its basic concept is quite simple. It seeks to recognize interested party requirements including license to trade, guidelines, customer requirements, and the chosen management system standards. Ensure that all requirements have been met. Confirm that employees receive applicable training in the quality system requirements. Determine processes, their interactions, inputs, and outputs. Produce records or evidence that system requirements have been met. Measure, monitor, and report the performance of the QMS. Plan changes to the QMS and takes an action to address risks and opportunities as a result of changes. Perform internal audit to analyze the QMS and correct non-conformities. Continually improve the QMS.
The three primary processes of management system include 1. Core processes, their outputs and identification of significant environmental aspect and impacts. 2. Key supporting processes, such as those of maintaining awareness of legal requirements, ensuring of competency of employees, providing infrastructure, communicating EMS information, and monitoring and evaluating environmental performance. 3. Management system supporting processes, such as document control, record control, and internal auditing.
ISO 14001
2015 and Environmental Management System. The International Organization for Standardization, ISO, developed an international standard, ISO 14001, to specify requirements for environmental management systems. According to ISO, more than 300,000 organizations in 171 countries have been certified to ISO 14001, including more than 3,800 companies in the United States. The standard was revised in 2015. As part of the development process, ISO conducted a continual improvement survey to develop an understanding of the needs of current, past, and potential users. The purpose of the ISO 14001 Management System Standard is to specify general requirements and guidelines that, when followed, should provide reasonable assurance that the outputs from the system will have a minimal negative environmental impact and improve environmental performance.
The primary operational components of an ISO 14001 EMS can be grouped as follows. 1. Create update environmental policy. 2. Plan environmental aspects, legal and other requirements, objectives, targets, programs. 2. Resources, responsibilities, and authority. Competence, training, and awareness. Communication, documentation, control of documents, operational control, emergency preparedness and response. 4. Check. Monitor and measure, evaluate compliance, non-conformity, corrective and preventive action, control of records, internal audits. Number 5, Act. Manage, review, ISO 14001 audit.
The advantages of using environmental management system include ensuring a holistic approach to environment impact, focusing on only critical aspect of processes, making use time test mature approaches recognized worldwide, establishing positive relationship with regulators. The economic benefits of implementing an environmental management system or goods environmental stewardship that an organization can aspect are discussed in greater detail in Joey Kausek book, Environmental Management, Quick and Easy. Kausek identifies 4 significant economic benefits. 1. Corporate reputation and image. 2. Lower environmentally related costs and fees. Number 3. Increased access to new customer. 4. Direct saving through environmental source reduction.
Quality Management System. A quality management system, QMS, is a set of policies, processes, and procedures required for planning and execution. Production development service in the core business area of an organization. Areas that can impact the organization's ability to meet customers' requirements. A QMS integrates the various internal processes within the organization and intends to provide a process approach for project execution. A process-based QMS enables organization to identify, measure, control, and improve the various core business processes that will ultimately lead to improved business performance. A complete ISO 9001 quality management system must address all the requirements of S.
Service quality. Customer satisfaction and service quality are interrelated. The higher the service quality, the higher customer satisfaction. Many agree that in the banking sector, there are no recognized standard scales to measure the perceived quality of bank service. It is a combination of 2 words, service and quality, where we find an emphasis on the availability of quality services to the ultimate users. The term quality focuses on the standard or specification that a service-generating organization promises.
One of the fundamentals of the TQM philosophy is continuous process improvements. This concept implies that there is no acceptable quality level, therefore the customer's needs, values, or expectations are constantly changing and becoming more and more demanding. The American Society for Quality Control conducted a survey on customers' perception of important factors that influence purchases and show the following ranking: 1. Performance, 2. Features, 3. Service warranty, 4. Price, 5. Reputation.
Customer feedback. According to D.H. Betterfield, customer feedback must be continually solicited and monitored. Feedback enables the business organization to 1. Discover customer dissatisfaction. 2. Discover relative priorities of quality. 3. Compare performance with the competition. 4. Identify customers' needs. And 5. Determine opportunities for improvement. Methods to obtain responses from the customers: comment card, survey, focus groups, toll-free telephone numbers, customer visits, and report card.
Methods to obtain responses from the customer. Kano model. Kano model is a conceptualization of customer requirements by representing the major areas of customers' satisfaction. In the 1980s, Professor Noriyaki Kano developed a system of product development and customer satisfaction to help classify customer preferences and focus business effort.
Method to obtain responses from the customers. First, must be quality. Second, one-dimensional quality. Third, attractive quality. Fourth, indifferent quality. 5, reverse quality.